Now, continuing with our series that we have been running here on Game On Life After the Game, I'm joined in studio by Isaac the Angel Hlatshwayo, who really doesn't have or need any introduction. He is a legend in boxing in South Africa. Isaac, thank you very much for speaking to us here on Game On. Tell us a bit about what you're up to at the moment.
Basically, I'm on the verge of going ahead with my promotion. Where I'm going to promote the up-and-coming fighters, take them from nothing to a world champions. Hopefully they'll reach, where I failed to reach, in fact, but above the rest is for them to achieve more than what I did.
Isaac, but you achieved so much. You know, you were IBF welterweight in 2009. You had the title, the IBO welterweight title between 2007 and 8. Of course, the South African lightweight title between 2002 and 2005. What else would you like to have achieved in your career?
As for me to produce a world champion, it has to start from the gym. While be training, I'm busy training some of the fighters with my ex-trainer, Fernandez. I'm busy working with him closely. He's got the promotion, I've got my promotion also. So it's a matter of producing a world champion who will go far and reach where I never reached, in fact, and achieve much better titles than what I did. Although I did achieve one of the most prestigious world titles, but I want to produce a WBC world champion.
Let's look at you and your career. How did you get introduced to the sport of boxing?
Wow, in my upbringing, I was very brutal. I used to bully other kids in the street. Until my granny, decides that the only way of disciplining me is to take me to a boxing gym and get beaten with some of the other kids, in fact. But unfortunately, or if not fortunately, it turned out to be in my favor, where I happened to stand my ground and be a person that I became to be today. If it wasn't for my grand and my grandfather, pushing me forward, trying to pursue this boxing as a career, I don't think I should have achieved what I did in the ring.
At that point, did you think that, I could make this a career?
I didn't think so. I used to play soccer and boxing, until my grandfather said, you know what, you have to decide now. Yes, boxing, ring. Yes, soccer field. So I want you to go to, I want you to reach both fields at the same time, because you are playing soccer, you are in boxing at the same time, and whereas you are a human being, you are one person. So I said, no, just tell me what to do. And he said, take boxing and you'll make a living out of boxing. And I did listen to what my grandfather told me, and then and I stuck on it, and then I did follow my dream, and then after idolizing the roads of Soweto and then Cassius Baloy, and then achieving, while we're in the same gym, I said, no, as Cassius is doing it, it means I can do it. I never needed to look on Dingan because I was working with Cassius, training with him at the same gym. So I said, no, Cassius is going to the Olympics. Cassius is becoming a world champion. It means, if I can take this seriously, I will achieve. And exactly, I did achieve.
Now, Isaac, we've been running a series on the show for quite a long time. It's called Life After the Game. We seem to be looking at players, boxers, cyclists, etc., make lots of money while they're playing, and then they suffer when they retire. What was life like as a boxer? Did you make lots of money? Was it easy?
From a distance, yes, I was making a lot of money. In South African boxing, we're making my money up from a distance. But in reality, in South African boxing, we are not making money. The reason being, people compare the South African fighters with the overseas fighters, like in America, Mayweather's, Hlatshwayo, but in South Africa, it's still very different. Some of the promoters just charge the fighters, the FAs, when they had organized fights for them abroad, charge FAs for 3, if not 4 people. That goes along with the fighter. Charge accommodation. All that money comes out from the boxer's purse. It has to pay 25% to a trainer, pay tax money, pay this and that, and when a fighter has to take money, it's nothing to show. But people out there, when they see you on the television doing well, they reckon that this person has got money. But in South Africa, it's not like that, only abroad. Maybe in time to come, and then of course it will change, because it's about time that we ex-fighters takes a board and be in charge of it, and then we control.
On average, how much does a fighter earn, a South African fighter?
I won't lie. I don't know. It depends on the caliber of a fighter or of an opponent that the one has to fight, you know, and also its hurdle. I mean, a magnitude of a fight determines the pass,
of course.
you know. So that's what I can say about it.
Obviously, the minister has been quite vociferous about this issue of boxing in South Africa. Do you find that, say, black boxers earn maybe less than white boxers in the country?
That is true, absolutely. I mean, the race is still taking place in South Africa. You know, there is still that discrimination between white and black when it comes to boxing. I mean, some of the promoters, I won't mention names, they work with white fighters. I mean, these white fighters, they train by white fighters. A black trainer, when he trains a good fighter, they send somebody to polish them into their stable in order for them to work closely with that fighter. They want to have a control over that fighter because he's from a very disadvantaged family. I mean, he needs something to put, I mean, food on the table for his family. And there's no other way. He has to leave his trainer, somebody took him from nothing, and be with this guy. That will organize him fights, get him fight in certain places. I won't mention names of the venues, but that's what is happening. You know, there is still discrimination. It's just, I mean, it's about time that, I mean, Minister of Sport do something about boxing and let everybody, let the television networks, don't look into a single promoter or certain promotion. Let them look, I mean, all around the country. Let them look at each and every single promoter who has the best interest of boxing within his heart, who's more than willing to do what's best for the fighters, who's more than willing to do what's best for boxing in the Republic of South Africa. That has to benefit the country, because the moment we produce champions, it means that those champions, they raise the flag of the Republic of South Africa.
Absolutely.
And that makes everybody happy. So that's what we need.
Now, we said that, first of all, boxers don't earn enough money while they're playing. But we all know the situation of baby Jake Matlala. I mean, he was practically broke. People were helping him to buy groceries. He had absolutely no money to his name. Is this the promoter's fault?
You know, I say yes, I don't say no. In this case, I mean, a promoter has to pay the fighters, a fighter, the good or reasonable pass. When I say reasonable pass, like Baby Jake was, I mean, one of a great fighter.
Yes.
I mean, the little big man had a very big heart. I mean, there's nobody who will stand in front of him. You know, he destroyed everybody who came on his way. But unfortunately, he get paid, less paid, in fact, you see. But he didn't look after what he had, because he was hoping that, I mean, after this, there's another fight. Forgetting that, I mean, after this pass or after this fight, there'll be no more fight. One has to rely on whatever he has now, than looking ahead. And then you have to plan ahead with what you have, because what you've eaten is that's yours. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to eat tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, in fact.
What should Boxing South Africa be doing to help, first of all, to help players earn, I keep on saying players, but boxers earn proper money while they are playing, and then prepare for life after their careers? I mean, that's so important. You're the star, as you said, you represent your country, and then you're left with nothing at the end of the day.
You know, I mean, that's true. In fact, Boxing South Africa should play a role in terms of looking after fighters, in terms of educating fighters on how to manage their funds, how to prepare a living after boxing, because boxing is a very short career. I mean, you get hit on the head, one knock, and then can just take you out of the game, you know. I mean, I think that's what Boxing South Africa should do from the next year, 2015, and to onwards. You know, they have to look on that and try to help boxers to plan their future ahead.
Now, the federation in itself is still trying to find its feet. It's basically in a mess at the moment. How do you expect them to assist fighters when promoters seem to be bigger than Boxing South Africa itself?
You know, that's a problem. It is a disgrace at the present moment, you know, because there is a new association that we boxing legends, I mean, have formed. I mean, because Sanabo, which is South African boxing, amateur boxing organization, it doesn't allow young fighters or amateurs to train with the promoters or to be taken to the fight by a professional trainer who will give him whatever he needs in order to overcome his opponent. So we are fighting with that. We want, the amateurs to work with the professionals. Our aim, our goal is for these youngsters, when they we want them to prepare themselves when they have to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
They must be able to go out there and come back with at least a bronze. Will make South Africa proud, because we haven't achieved anything when it comes to boxing in the Olympics. Besides the Commonwealth, we did achieve, yes, more or less did achieve in the Commonwealth. In African zones, yes, we did achieve, but we want to achieve a medal at the Olympics. That's our goal. So once, we can go ahead with that organization, and that organization start working with amateurs and the professional at the same time, and then hopefully certain things will fall into place, whereby BSA will tend to reconsider their awarding of the national title to our national champions. Yeah. Because at the present moment, they don't value our titles. Reason being, when a national champion has to defend his title, I guess a number one challenger or anybody that he can choose to defend to, when that challenger overcomes the champion, they just present him with a belt. And that is valueless. They treat the national title like a world title, and that belt becomes valueless.
Yeah.
But before that, in our time, we had to fight, win the title, defend 5 times successfully, then be awarded that title officially. After having 5 successful defense, I think if they can bring that back, if they have to, and then that will make boxing interesting, and then that will rejuvenate boxing. Will rebuild the interest to the public. Hopefully, it will draw attention from the sponsors, because currently we don't have sponsors. Even the fighters, they struggle to get sponsors. Yeah. The promoters, they cancel fights left, right, and center because they don't have sponsors to stay the fights. So there is still a means, but which I believe that when they let the so-called ex-fighters who have been there, outfits to be in the ring and take over and control the boat, hopefully something will happen.
Just last question, because we are running out of time, but how do you, through your promotions company and through the gym that you're dealing from, how do you intend on helping young boxers, young black South African boxers, get found, and how do you intend to nurture them?
Like for me, there is no discrimination. There's no black, there's no white, there's no Indian, there's no colored. He's a South African. I'm a South African. I don't have a race within me. I'm a proudly South African. I'm a rainbow nation. Wherever I went to, I was representing anybody who lives within the Republic of South Africa. So my promotion is here to do what's best for each and every single South African. Whoever will be doing good in the gym, in the other fights, I'll go out there and ask his trainer and his promoters to let me put him on my show. I won't try the fighters whereby they'll be restricted to fight under certain promotions. No, I won't do that. I want to work with each and every single fighter around the nation. It can be from Eastern Cape, KZN, Northwest, Limpopo, my home, Gauteng. I will work with anybody. Each and every single fighter who does well in the ring, that's the fighter I would love to work with without a race.
Thank you very much for that. Definitely, we will be looking forward to the fighters that you will be bringing into South Africa. Definitely lots of talent that we can look at.
Yeah.